What is up, everybody, and welcome to FLW Videos. In a few days, the Ultra League will be released for Go Battle League for Season 2, and you may be curious about what the best Pokemon are going to be. What about team compositions? What if you don't have any legendary Pokemon? In today's episode, we'll be taking a look at what happened in Season 1, some of the top recommended teams, and then finally, I'm actually going to provide you 6 teams that I think are going to be very functional for Season 2, so make sure you stick around for that. We'll be doing legendaries, non-legendaries, everything in between. If you do enjoy it and it is helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. So we're going to start this video off where Season 1 ended. We ended up seeing a couple of Pokemon get nerfed to some extent because of the move Ancient Power, which really focused most of its energy on Giratina Altered Form. So some Pokemon end up rising up because Giratina Altered Form just couldn't handle it as well as what it once could. So we saw some kind of moveset shifts along the way. So anyway, some of the top performers when we started off with the season were like Articuno, for example. We ended up seeing Cresselia having a lot of potential. I honestly didn't see very many of them, though. We will definitely be talking about that. And then finally, some other Pokemon that I think are kind of interesting are like Meganium, Lapras, and then a Pokemon like Scizor. Of course, Pokemon like Giratina Altered and then Registeel are always great. They've always been great. They just, for Altered Form, it's just not as great as what it once was. But if we take a look at some of the top teams, we're seeing that a lot of the teams end up having legendary Pokemon on there, so it can be very tough to build a team of non-legendary Pokemon, but we are definitely going to be attempting to do that today. But something worth mentioning is that I think that this is going to be an interesting combination to kind of talk about at some point, and that's going to be the Giratina Registeel kind of core combination, and then throwing on like a third Pokemon to go with them. So I'm going to be on the lookout for that and then discuss what I'm personally going to be doing with this team. So let's go ahead and head over to pvpoke.com. Now, when I checked out this website, by the way, I changed the HTML to go ahead and showcase the level as well as the ideal IVs that you would want to have for the Ultra League. If you think this is a good idea, make sure to put it in the comment section below. I've been talking with the owner of pvpoke.com behind the scenes, saying that I think something like this would be amazing to put it on the rank page. So make sure to put it in the comment section below if you would like to see this, so that we can show how much support we have on an update like this. But anyways, when we go ahead and take a look at the top 10 list, there are easily some very common Pokemon that may be kind of familiar to you that you've definitely seen in the Ultra League. But something that I think is kind of interesting is Cresselia. So Cresselia isn't necessarily going to be stopped by a Pokemon like Giratina Altered Form like you think it would. Shadow Sneak is just really bad. So yes, it'll have Shadow Claw, but it's just going to be difficult to take it down, like kind of with those charge moves. And then Cresselia can, of course, get the move Moonblast, which is going to be amazing for this Pokemon. So when I take a look at this, I think Cresselia is going to be very interesting and a Pokemon that's going to really pop off in the Season 2 of Ultra League that you really need to make sure that you are prepared for. We'll be discussing some of those Pokemon that can really kind of take that down. But now that we've talked about some of these Pokemon in the top 10, it's important for us to go ahead and get into some potential team building composition teams. So I'm actually going to sort this from the best performance on the threat meter down to the lowest. There's going to be some in here that are all non-legendary, 2 non-legendary, more of the legendary Pokemon. So make sure you stick around for it, because I honestly think that there is a team in here for everyone. So anyways, the first team that I end up taking a look at that I think is going to be very overpowered, and not going to lie, I'm actually going to end up using this. I end up getting myself a Registeel ready to go for the Ultra League, and man, was it a grind, but I have to use that Pokemon. That's what it was made for. Very excited about that. But anyways, this team is going to be considerably an amazing set of Pokemon, and as far as its actual scorecard, if you want to look at it that way, is concerned, we've got all A's across the board. This team is going to be so stout, so amazing, and it ended up having a threat score below a 600. I want to go ahead and show this briefly. We got a threat score of 591. Ladies and gentlemen, this team is going to be very difficult to stop, and I actually have the team ready to go, so I am very excited about using this. In at the second position, this is going to be kind of switching it up and using the Pokemon Cresselia, but just notice, it's not using Cresselia with a Grass Knot. That's very important. So this is going to be your Moonblast Future Sight. So if you don't have yourself a Cresselia ready to go and you only have Grass Knot, maybe consider leaving it in the Great League. That's where it does better with that move Grass Knot, so just kind of keep that in mind. But once again, we're seeing Swampert as just a very good kind of alternative pick, or a good like third rover Pokemon. And once again, we're getting a scorecard of all A's. And then if we check out that threat score, we got a threat score of 595. So honestly, it's really not that far off from what we saw previously. So anyways, let's go ahead and get on to the second team, or the third team. Now this team is going to be a team that consists of 2 non-legendary Pokemon, one of my personal favorite kind of Giratina walls, but also going to be a good Cresselia wall, and that's going to be adding on the addition of a Alolan Muck. Alolan Muck, ladies and gentlemen, is amazing. Consider using Sludge Wave over Gunk Shot just because you can charge it quicker. But regardless of that, with this team, it's going to do very well, but it isn't necessarily going to get all A's. It's a little bit lower on the coverage and bulk, but at the same time, I mean, come on. It's 2 non-legendary Pokemon. I think that that's going to be an amazing set of performances. And then when we take a look at the threat score, we got a threat score of 602. So looking pretty good, not too far off from the other Pokemon that we talked about. So anyways, I mentioned that we were going to cover some all non-legendary teams. This is the first one that I think is going to be a very interesting one, and it was the lowest threat score that I could find, consisting of all non-legendary Pokemon. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Togekiss. Togekiss is going to be that charm user. Man, Togekiss is so tough to take down if you are not ready for it. And then, of course, we've got Swampert again. Wow, Swampert is just such a core fill-in Pokemon. And then finally, opting to use Typhlosion with Shadow Claw, Blast Burn, and Solar Beam. Typhlosion is amazing. Of course, we could have the debate about what's better, Typhlosion or Charizard. They just act a little bit differently, mostly because of the quick move, and then finally because of the typing, with Charizard adding on that flying type. But anyways, if we check out the scorecard, the real red flag is probably going to be that bulk to kind of take a look at. But at the same time, you still can do very well without bulk. You're just going to have to be very careful with your shields and then use them a little bit more strategically. So basically the learning cap to this team is going to be a little bit higher, but at the same time though, it is made of all non-legendary, so it is what it is. So when we go ahead and take a look at the threat score of 617, that is honestly not bad for a team of all non-legendary Pokemon. When we go to move on to the next team, I actually found a secondary team that I thought would be very good. So once again, we're sticking with Swampert as well as Typhlosion, but as the third Pokemon, shifting out the Togekiss, we're bringing in Dragonite. Now, Dragonite is so good, but it's so underrated in the Ultra League. People have realized its value in the Master League, but I think it has a space in the Ultra League as well. Once again, we are going to have an issue with the bulk, but that's just something that's going to be a part of it. And then, of course, the safety is going to be a little bit of an issue as well. But anyways, if we go ahead and head down to the threat score, we're going to see a threat score of 622. So maybe that is a team that you could end up running if you don't have a Togekiss. I know a lot of people have been telling me, well, what is an option that I could use besides Togekiss? In that case, that seems like a good team. And then finally, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end up with a bit of a spicy team, and we're going to bring in our boy Snorlax. If you have not used Snorlax in the Ultra League, you are missing out. This Pokemon with Lit can really put a hurt on those Giratina altered and on the origin form. Body Slam and Heavy Slam are recommended, but you can easily change up that moveset however you want. And then we're bringing in Charizard with Fire Spin, Blast Burn, and then finally Dragon Claw. So finally getting to see Charizard get in some action, opting out of using Typhlosion in this case. And this scorecard is a little bit more consistent. Sure, you're not seeing like any A's or anything like that, but at the same time though, it's a very consistent team, and I would argue that a lot of people have access to those Pokemon. And then as far as its threat score is concerned, it's a little bit on the high side at 645. But at the end of the day, come on. This is such an amazing team for the fact that it is made of all non-legendaries. But anyways, I hope you did enjoy this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed kind of the team building guide and talking about some Pokemon that are going to, of course, end up being meta relevant, and even talking about some non-legendary options. But beyond that, I would love for you to leave your team in the comment section below what you plan to use. So make sure to check out the comments if you're looking for some alternative ideas, and then head over to pvpoke.com and go into the team builder and see if it is a team that makes sense to you before you invest. But anyways, if you did enjoy it, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and I will see you next time. If you want to develop a deeper connection, I would highly recommend you to check out Patreon. We've got a lot of really cool things going on over there. Check out all of these supporters that we have. We are almost up to 100. We are also posting some special content, some behind the scenes work. And if that is the type of thing that interests you, I would highly recommend you to check it out.